Bones. How exciting is this? And the funny thing is Tamara, you have to say it like that. You gotta go Bones. You know?
Bones, exactly.
So we're all looking forward to the next season coming back. I guess it's in April, right? Because we've all been waiting so long. What can we expect?
Oh my gosh. Serial killers, babies, romance, all on the same show. Kind of kooky. A lot of babies. And there's a new super creepy serial killer that I think actually will outdo the Gravedigger, which was, I mean, that's pretty tough to do.
Well, I was going to ask because when are we going to see Booth's baby born?
Oh my goodness.
That was a tongue twister, and I did it.
You did it. I'm very proud of you. You know what? Very soon, and it's sort of an interesting episode. It will come when you don't expect it.
Really, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, because like all the fans are wanting to know, so we've been waiting so long. So
I love it. Well, you guys kind of you were waiting so long for the get together, and then you never saw it.
But we will.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you feel the dynamic of the show has changed now that Bones and Booth are now together?
You know, it's interesting. I think the writers handled it brilliantly because, you know, often when there's that beautiful romantic tension a la Moonlighting and X-Files, when you get them together, the tension sort of dies, and then the show is not so interesting to watch. And somehow the writers managed to still keep that crazy tension because they don't get along. Mm-hmm. They're opposites. So even though they're having a child together, there's still that wacky, they couldn't be more different sort of craziness going on.
And I want to find out from you, I don't know how you do what you do on the show without, like, barfing. Because, like, you have to take the skin off the bone. It's all disgusting.
Oh, you'd be good at it.
Oh.
You'd be good at it if you, like, here's the thing. It's plastic.
I'd be good at it. Are you kidding me?
At it. It's plastic and it smells like plastic. So the nice thing is when you're really close, or I should say rubber and latex and all that crazy stuff. So when you're up close to this really gross stuff, you're so well aware that it's not real. That it actually sort of makes it fun and you want to dive in. The only time I get squeamish is when they actually bring in bugs.
Really?
Real bugs. And we have a bug wrangler. And when I see that guy, I know to run.
Do the bugs have a rider? Like, do they get their own trailer?
They do, and I believe they're union members. Yeah, it's crazy. And TJ is great with them. Emily is great with them. I can't handle the huge flying cockroaches. Like, too many of them in one place, not cool.
No,
cool.
Squeamish.
A little bit.
So, you kind of answered one of the questions because you said they were all plastic, but at the same sense, do you ever bring in people to play? Like, how do you cast the dead?
Oh my gosh. We were actually just talking about that the other day, oddly, because we did have somebody in, I think it's episode 13, we have sort of a Banksy-esque character, like a graffiti artist, who lands on a set of remains. He falls in his own glue and then he falls backwards and lands in a set of remains. So when we have to bring him alive to the Jeffersonian with remains attached to his back. Oh. And we were joking that it's really weird when you're working with someone that's alive because we're so used to talking over the bodies and there's no one there.
Yeah.
But when there's actually someone there staring up at you, it's the creepiest, weirdest thing.
Well, I was joking with one of my morning show hosts, Roz. I was saying, you know, the funny thing is if you audition for, like, The Walking Dead and you don't do well, maybe you can try out for being a dead person on Bones.
The dead.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you know what? Being dead is tougher than it looks because, you know, of course, when they give the close-up, okay, we're going to ask you not to breathe for 30 seconds. Really? But you can't.
It's so funny you say that because I watch shows where there's somebody that's lying on the ground and they're dead or like on Bones and you're like, okay, I'm almost not paying attention or I'll rewind on my DVR because I'm like, I'm going to stare at them and I'm going to see their chest going up and down.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to see this.
No,
and you don't.
They'll make you hold your breath. It's really, we had an amazing, actually the girl the woman, I should say, that was in The Finder, that gorgeous model, she had to land, you know, on my table, dead as a doornail, and she had these crazy contacts in, and literally, you know, it's just she was there for like 7 hours.
See, I thought I could go into this interview and be like, oh my, I'm going to convince you that I could play like the dead guy awesomely. Now I'm thinking I can't do it.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. Yeah, it's a lot more challenging than having to say, you know, the crazy technical jargon we have to say. So.
How do you think that Bones stands the test of time? Because there are so many shows that you start off and you're like, oh, this is gonna be a great show, and it trickles away. Whereas Bones is still good, still amazing, and still there.
I love you for saying that.
Oh, hey.
You know, I think that it's probably, I hope that it's the chemistry. I think it's the relationships of the characters on the show. I think, first of all, the actors, we all get along so well. There's just sort of a natural chemistry that happens. And the writers do brilliantly, allowing us to really be interested in each other's lives while we're investigating murders. You know, we're talking about really inappropriate stuff over bodies all the time.
Now, do you keep in touch with your fans on Twitter, like during shows and stuff like that?
You're calling me out on Front Street. You realize this because
or bluer.
Exactly.
Because you watch some shows and they're tweeting along and stuff like that. But I'm not seeing you do that.
I have to tweet. I'm the last one. I am Amish. And I will join the 21st century. All my castmates are tweeting, and I'm the last one, so I'm gonna tweet.
Because you can get stuff trending. You can be hashtag dead body, you know.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm actually looking forward to it a little bit.
And you know, if you start doing it soon, when the thing comes back, when the show returns in April, and eventually we're gonna see a baby, we can hashtag Bones Baby. You know?
Exactly. I love Bones Baby. See, is there an art to tweeting?
There really is, but there's been no there's no book written on this.
But you
kind of have to figure it out on your own.
Nice. So do people crash and burn it first and then do well?
I've crashed and burned many times because of spelling on Twitter, but I'm doing a little better.
I'm afraid. Oh.
That's awesome. Well, you know what? We continued success with the show. It's so amazing. And again, back in April, we've been waiting so long.
Back in April in a new time slot. They moved us, which I think is totally amazing. We actually...
Tell everyone with the new time slot.
It's Mondays at 8 o'clock before House.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.